All right.
Okay, Philippe, it's all yours. I'm going to mute myself.
Oh wait, Philippe, you're muted.
But you need to unmute, Philippe.
You're right. You're right. I need to unmute myself. Okay, well, welcome everybody, and welcome to this OLLI open house, virtual open house, I would say. So today we are going to introduce some of the SIGs, the special interest groups. We have a few SIG leaders online. So the way the event is going to go is that first each SIG leader is going to introduce their SIG, explain a little bit what it is about, and then we will open the breakout room. And in the breakout room, each breakout room will be assigned to a specific SIG, so you will be able to discuss more at length how the SIG works and what are the requirements or what you will be doing. So that the SIGs are open to OLLI members. This is one of the best thing I think about OLLI is that you can have a specialized group that will follow your own interests. We have a lot of very wonderful leaders, as you will see, and I think that's all the points I wanted to cover, at least for a start. Monica, do you want to add something, or Ray, do you want to add something else I've forgotten?
Yeah, only that the shared interest groups, the SIGs, are what I call a sort of ever-changing combination. You know, some SIGs do their job and then, you know, people lose interest or whatever, but we always have new SIGs coming along. I mean, for example, the environmental SIG is a new one that Deborah Kane is leading. Karen Curley has just reinvigorated our foreign film SIG. So if you have anything that you are passionate about, you know, whether it is, I don't know, I can't even, wine tasting maybe, or needlepoint, or rock climbing, talk to Philippe, or you can talk to me, and we can give you some pointers as to how you can set up a SIG in future. I think that's all I had to say. Do you want to go around the room and have people talk about their SIGs, Philippe?
Yes, but first also a lot of SIG leaders are there today in the virtual room. However, a few are missing. They could not make it. They had other commitments. So if you want to contact one of the SIG leader who is not here, or if you change your mind and you thought you would not be interested in one SIG and then you decide to go after it, just log on to your OLLI account, go to the SIG page, and there you will have a list of all the SIG leaders and just contact them through the email link from the OLLI website. Okay, so now let's start.
Philippe, I just want to say that I know that our creative nonfiction special interest group, creative writing, could not be here, and she gave me some text that she would like me to read. So okay, whenever you want me to do that, I can do that.
Let's start with that.
All right, we're going to start with that. So, creative nonfiction special interest group. It is for writers who wish to tell a story or write about specific people, events, or memories in a way that makes it interesting for the reader, yet are based on reality and truth to the best of the writer's ability. It can result in a memoir, but the approach affords the writer the permission to fill in settings or remarks that are approximate to what their memory or understanding tells them is the way it was. It also gives the writer an opportunity to look at a feeling, situation, or event from the perspective of a person they may be writing about. During the act of creative nonfiction writing, the writer may experience memories they thought long gone. Freedom, revelation, and art form are words that come to mind when talking about or doing this kind of writing. The Creative Nonfiction SIG meets on the second Tuesday of every month, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, on Zoom. Each participant is given 5 minutes to read something they have written, and then they will get feedback from the other attendees. These sessions have proven to be informative, and helpful to the writers. It is important to remember that whatever is shared does not have to be the final draft. The purpose of the SIG is to be helpful during the process of writing. So selected prompts are sent out after every meeting to offer inspiration for writers that are finding it difficult to come up with ideas. So you'll find out what the prompt is for, the upcoming meeting. But also participants are free to write about anything they like. And you'll also receive a reminder email with the Zoom link the day before the meeting. Ta-da!
Okay. And Ray, can you tell us again who is the leader for that SIG on creative writing?
Lana Bennett is her name.
Okay.
And again, so and she's accepting new members. If you would like to join, I think you can I think it's an event that's open for registration right on our webpage. So you can actually join that way, or you can contact Lana to ask her more questions if you have any other questions.
Okay, thank you. I am just going to go down the list of the way the people appear on my screen. And the next person on my screen is Alice Roth.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us about your SIG?
Okay. Well, I'm representing the play reading SIG. If you enjoy seeing live theater, then you will love this SIG. We meet twice each month on Fridays from 3 to 5 p.m. and read a play aloud together. We have a facilitator for each play who provides an introduction to the play and the playwright. We take turns playing different roles, and each person has a chance to read. We pause frequently to discuss what we have read. Some of us are experienced theater directors, teachers, and actors, but most are, like me, simply avid theater goers. We read both classic and contemporary plays. We have had our last meeting this year and will resume in January. During January through April 2024, we are reading plays suggested by our members. These are Tartuffe by Molière, the Richard Wilbur translation, The Doctor's Dilemma by George Bernard Shaw, Doubt by John Patrick Shanley, and How I Learned to Drive by Paula Vogel. Starting in May, we plan to read plays that will be showing in theaters in the Berkshires and Hudson Valley area. We usually meet by Zoom, but hope to have some in-person meetings next summer. This summer, we had some fun in-person meetings which featured acting exercises and games. Please let me know if you would like to join, and I will put your name on the mailing list.
Thank you, Alice. So if you want to join that SIG, or if you want to know more about it, in a few minutes, there will be a breakout room where Alice will be waiting for you. And Carol, I assume that's Carol who will direct you to the right SIG. Okay, so next person on my screen is Deborah Kane. Deborah, do you want to tell us about your SIG, please?
Yes, I do. This is
Thank
a brand. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, fine. I want to make sure. This is brand new SIG, and we've only had one meeting so far. And as soon as I sent out the notice that I was founding this SIG on climate change, and it would be an activist as well as an educational SIG, sharing news and information about all the terrible things that are happening to the earth, to this planet, from floods to hurricanes to tornadoes to rising oceans, you name it. The planet is besieged by the buildup of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and everything is changing. If you want to see changes, come to my own garden this summer, where we had an early spring heat wave and everything blossomed. And then a couple of weeks later, we had a frost and everything died. All the blossoms died, so we got no fruit. Bartlett's orchard didn't have any fruit, just locally. That happened here. But when I called for this SIG, I immediately got a tremendous number of answers. And since it meets in my house, I could only accommodate as many as 10 or 12. I'm working on enlarging the SIG. If we can link up with an environmental group at Kimball's Farm, or there's another elders council here in Richmond, We could meet then at Kimball's Farm, or we could meet at Richmond New Community Building, which is gorgeous and has plenty of room for us. And we could be joined there, but all the people will have to belong to OLLI to join. And the people who have already joined are absolutely inspiring. I couldn't believe what good people they are. Such backgrounds in environmental activities and knowledge and how to get to politicians. Everybody in the room had something to offer. One was working on the PCBs in the Housatonic River. Another was working on sending out postcards to politicians about fossil fuels. Another thing I want to mention is that we link up with 2 webinar systems. One is Massachusetts Elders Action. They have marvelous webinars, and I send out the links to those webinars and people watch them. We just watched one the other night. It was terrific. All kinds of activities they do. We also belong to Third Act, which was founded very recently by Bill McGibbons. And I immediately got in touch with Bill McGibbons, and he is coming in January. I think that most people know his name, but for those who don't, he's one of the greatest environmental writers since the 70s, and he's here in America. He's at the University of Vermont. I wrote to him if he would come to speak for the distinguished speakers thing, and he's coming in January 31st, and he will speak for us then. So I was very encouraged by all this by a trans grandson of Brandeis who met Bill McGibbons. And after he met him, he said, Nana, he wrote to me, Nana, you've got to start a climate change. Well, I'd already had a lot of guilt about the terrible planet system we're leaving to our grandchildren. And my husband joined me in that, and he kept saying, how can we do this? So we do things like encouraging people to buy electric. I won't go into all the things we encourage.
Thank you.
An hour.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. I think that
I do hope you'll join. I just want to say one more thing is, I can only accommodate 9 or 10 people in my house, but we're looking to join, as I said, Kimball's Farm, or even another place here I can book in Richmond, and I could accommodate more people then. So that's the final word.
Thank you, Deborah. If you are interested, you will know where to go. Deborah has a lot of wonderful things actually going on. Great. The next person on my screen is about painting, and it is Claudia. Claudia Schuster, please tell us about your SIG. And don't forget to unmute yourself. Thank you. Hold on, Claudia, you are muted. Thank you, Claudia. Technology.
Sorry. We established this SIG about a year ago. It is for people who are currently painting. You could be painting for 4 months, or you could be painting for 34 years. We don't care how long, just that you're currently committed to painting, and you may paint in any medium. It could be acrylic, watercolor, oil, multimedia, whatever medium you use to paint is just fine. And we meet at the moment monthly for an hour to an hour and a half. And what we do is we download the painting that we're currently involved with, not a finished product, but something that we want some support for. We have some materials that engage all of our members in positively commenting on paintings, so that people know their feelings are not going to be hurt, but rather they will be helped to think about opportunities to change or enhance their painting. And then of course it's up to them. And we have a site called Cluster where we can download the painting we're working on, and everyone through a Zoom meeting can look at the cluster and take a look at the paintings that people would like comments on. We are happy to have a few more people. We don't really want to have more than 10 or 12 people, because otherwise by the time you have a chance to have your painting commented upon, you probably finished it. So it's a small group, but we were down to about 5 members by the end of the fall, people going in different places, taking different opportunities. So we're looking for a few people who would love to participate, and we are going to decide on the time during the day, once a month, based upon people's needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. The next person will be Sheila McKenna. And unmute yourself and tell us about your SIG. Thank you.
All right. My SIG is called Gotta Reads. And I believe there are some wonderful books out there. And when you read them, you want to run out into traffic and stop people and say, read this book, it's wonderful. So we have a group, usually about 10 to 14 show up on Zoom every third Thursday at 4 p.m. And they're warm, it's comfortable. Everybody gets a chance to speak about their ideas and their opinions. There is one cat that comes every time, doesn't read the book, but attends anyway. And we have a lot of fun. And I do want to clarify something. Last year, I said our group was made up of the smartest and the best looking people in OLLI, and that's not entirely true. We're made up of only some of the smartest and best looking people in OLLI.
Thank you. Yeah, I was starting to feel bad about that. Yeah, because I don't belong to her group. So thank you, Sheila. And next we will have Hélène Croabier. Hélène, your turn. Thank you.
Okay. Merci, Philippe. Thank you and welcome everyone. And I knew this was going to be fun. And as soon as I saw Sheila was on here, I knew I wouldn't be disappointed. So welcome everyone. I don't have anything to say about the individual members of our group, at least not specifically, although I am very pleased to say we have people from all over the country, and we have people who travel to all over the country. My friend Arlene Breskin, who may already be in Florida, and Nancy Johnson, who is in Oklahoma. And hopefully some of the rest of you who will soon be members of the group. Anyway, I am the current chair of the Contemporary Gender Roles Shared Interest Group. And we meet on the third Wednesday of every month from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And we generally meet on Zoom because, as I just mentioned, we have people from all over the country. Now, if you don't think this is something you could be interested in, let me suggest you could be wrong, in the sense that we talk about male roles, female roles, transgender roles, gay roles, gender fluid roles. And again, if that doesn't necessarily sound like something you'd be interested in, this current year we had the author of Misconceivers, which was a book about a post-Roe America in the late 2020s that was published in the 1980s. That, again, we discuss now because obviously it became important. We also talked about pre-contact Algonquian and Haudenosaunee cultures, Native Americans, and how they dealt with people of various roles in their families and clan structure. We had someone who spoke to us about the incarceration of women for failure to protect when they were abused by their partners and their children were not protected. We talked about women power and rape culture. We talked about the gendered language from biblical times. And we spoke about breaking the gender binary in fashion. So that's just last year. This coming year, so far, I have people talking about gaslighting and intimate partner violence. We have the executive director of the Elizabeth Freeman Center who has consented to speak to us. We have one of this year's current just finished semester's instructors, Chris Canning Wilson, who led the Arabic for Tourists course, who will be talking to us about the role of women in the Middle East. And I'm in contact with one of our other instructors, Shirin Nash, who is hopefully going to have some of her family talk to us about growing up in India, as well as some of the other countries that her family has grown up in. So we're really very diverse. And Philippe, you are most welcome. We already have at least 2 male members of our SIG, and we've had others in the past. So this is not a female organized SIG. Just want to put that out there.
Thank you.
And what else can I tell you? So members volunteer to lead a discussion or to find a presenter who wants to lead the discussion. The program on gaslighting and intimate partner violence will be presented by Monica Sinclair's daughter. You see, I'm perfectly shameless. I will ask all of you, as I am going to right now, if you know people who could be interested and who have a topic that's relevant to contemporary gender roles, I urge you to contact me. My contact information, as Philippe said, is listed on the page for the SIGs. And I'll be more than happy to speak to you if you have any further questions and or if you have anyone you'd like to refer to us to be a presenter. Did I do good for my 1 minute?
You did very well. Thank you, Hélène. And now we are going to talk about something exciting, which is movies. Karen Curley.
I think everything's been exciting. I want to be part of every one of these. So I've been with OLLI, well, I guess since pandemic, I joined up. And so I've just kind of sat on the, taken the classes, and then I joined the poetry reading SIG. And I was always doing the foreign language whenever there was a foreign language film event. And those were kind of like events. And so then that's kind of gone by the wayside. So I thought it would be really fun to revive that. But it has to be with a new paradigm. And what I'm feeling, here's what I'm thinking to do. I'm interested in kind of facilitating at least the first 4, and then we can all assess and see how it goes from there. But I've picked the first 4 films, and we'll do Tuesdays like at 4, and each film is about an hour and 35. I tried to keep it hour 35, hour 40. And so we meet together on Zoom at 4. I will give background on the film, just, from doing research. We will then watch the film. We'll go off and leave the Zoom. You will watch the film on the platform of your choice. All 4 of the films I've chosen are on Apple Plus, and they might also be on Amazon Prime or Hulu. So, but if you're go to the library, get a DVD, whatever way you get the film, you will have the film that day. You will then watch the film, and then we will come back at the end of the film for another Zoom for about a half an hour to talk. And just all have, open discussion about the film. And I'm really hoping not to go into anything political. I'd like to just keep it about, lighting and direction and acting and editing and the things of that nature about these films to be. And I will give a few things to look for when you go to watch the film. And of course, if it's your second or third time through the film, that's cool too. You'll have a lot more to say, and it'll be an open discussion. Everybody's voice will be heard, and we'll try that. So the first film is Au revoir les enfants, which is a French film, obviously, and Louis Malle directed, and that will be on December 5th, and we will meet at 4:00, and we will see how this all goes. And I'm also open if anybody else wants to say, hey, I'm actually an expert at foreign films, and I'll co-host with you or whatever. That'd be great too. But I just wanted to get this thing started, and because looking at films with people of our ilk is so interesting, and the conversation is always so interesting. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen. Yeah, and Au revoir les enfants is an amazing movie about World War II. Okay, so the chamber music leader could not be here today, but Monica, I think that you can tell us about it.
I'm happy to do so. It's a thing that I've been a member of since the beginning of its inception. And it's just a small group, probably 6 to 12 of us, And we meet monthly. We're going to be meeting on Thursday afternoons at 4 o'clock going forward. And we talk about classical music, specifically chamber music. And it's not a class, it's a discussion. And usually somebody in the group suggests a piece or two to listen to, or a style that they like that they want us to consider, and does a little research on it, presents it to us, and sends us a link so that we can listen to the piece on YouTube before the class, before the SIG meeting, and then we discuss it. And some of the people in the group, like Harriet, are actually experienced musicians. Some of them are like me and just, addicts of listening to chamber music but can't really play anything. So, and people all the way along the spectrum. It's a good group. Most everybody has an understanding of chamber music. But it's a great way to learn as well. I've found that I've learned a lot about things that I never thought I would like, or things that I knew nothing about. And so it's introduced me to some new aspects of chamber music that I hadn't considered before. And we would welcome anybody that's got anything to contribute to our group.
Thank you, Monica. Let's see, I think I am next. So I am leading the French Conversation SIG. And let's see, what can I say about it? First, whatever is your level of French, even very beginner, you are welcome. We meet once a month, usually the last week of the month, usually on the last Thursday of the month. Usually around 10 a.m. So that leaves people, we are done by 11 and people can go and get lunch. And we talk about France in French. We talk about French culture, we talk about traveling, we talk about food, of course. And basically it is an open conversation. But I want to emphasize that if you just like the French culture, if you just like to listen to somebody speak French, then you are welcome. There is no test at the end of the hour. And we really have a big tent. And anybody, even if you are just interested in French culture, again, just join us. We can go more at length during the breakout, but I would love to hear from you. If you are just even thinking of joining us, just come over and we can talk one-on-one in a few minutes about that. Let's see. I don't see any more SIG leaders online. So either Ray or Monica, can we just go to the breakout room right now?